Welcome to the Stoica podcast. My name is Benny. I'm your host for today. And today we're going to look at a Stoic quote by Marcus Aurelius from my Gregory Hayes translation. I also have the Penguin Classics here. But before we start, I really want to thank everybody for writing those comments on YouTube, on Spotify, wherever, and for liking and subscribing to the podcast. That really helps us reach a wider audience. We really appreciate that. And if you want to look for more quotes, for more inspiration, you can always go to viastoica.com, where you can find hundreds of quotes with all the references for you to go and look them up, and or maybe build your own little handbook as Arian made from Epictetus' lessons. Use them as your inspiration or when you need them. And if you are looking for some help with any of this, you can always book a free consultation with us at viastoica.com. But for now, we're going to dive right into the quote. This one comes from book 5, 5.3, from, again, Marcus Aurelius. And here he's talking to himself about how to act and also how to deal with the criticism of others. So we're going to look at those two aspects of this quote. First, I'm going to read it to you, and then we'll dive right into it. So here we go, 5.3. If an action or utterance is appropriate, then it's appropriate for you. Don't be put off by other people's comments and criticism. If it's right to say or do it, then it's the right thing for you to do or say. The others obey their own lead. Follow their own impulses. Don't be distracted. Keep walking. Follow your own nature and follow nature along the road they share. So I really liked this quote. The first sentence is specifically, and in this translation, I'll look at the Penguin Classics translation as well. But to say, he says, like, if an action or utterance is appropriate, then it's appropriate for you. And I think that's, really good to understand that, first we need to know what's appropriate. We'll look into that as well. But if it is, then we need to do it. And that's where kind of this courage comes in. That's why courage is one of the virtues, because a lot of the times when we feel that we should be saying something, and again, we might think about the reaction of others, or we might think about what whether they're going to criticize us or what they might think. We need that courage to do it anyway, because we know it's the appropriate thing to do, right? But let's look at the Penguin Classics translation as well, because I like this one as well, and it's good to have different translations. He says here, judge yourself entitled to any word or action which is in accord with nature, and do not let any subsequent criticism or persuasion from anyone talk you out of it. No, if it was the thing to do or say, do not revoke your entitlement. Those others are guided by their own minds and pursue their own impulses. Don't be distracted by any of this, but continue straight ahead. Following your own nature and universal nature, these two have one and the same path. Now, why it's good to keep these two together, right? Because we have here, especially at the ending, your nature and universal nature. Don't let any criticism or persuasion talk you out of it. So in the Gregory Hayes translation, can read a little bit more as if you've already done it and then be critiqued, and maybe that's something that keeps you away from doing it next. And then this one, it might be that you have a certain action or something you wish to say or purvey to others, and others might critique you. But if you know that it's right, you should still do it. And that's, again, why we need the courage to go ahead and do the things that we should be doing, right? So that's why these things is important. And first, we need to, again, know what is the right thing to do or say. And we cannot be perfect in this, right? We have to use our best judgment, use the wisdom that we have accumulated, the experiences, and use that to make those decisions with all the information we can, right? For that, we need to be as objective possible. We need to leave our value judgments out of it to say that this is good or this is bad for me personally, right? From looking at it from our own personal desires and aversions. So we need to make sure that those things are out of it, and then we just need to make the best decision. Again, we are not sages here. We're just trying to do our best. And once we start acting, then from that, we can gather new information, see, okay, did I do the right thing? What were the consequences? And how can I learn from it for the next time, right? Without beating ourselves down and talking negative about, I've made a mistake here. Then no, use it to learn and to grow. But we need to make those actions. And again, we have moral ethics for that. We can use justice to see if it's fair and just for everybody around us, for the community. And we have our role ethics that can help us break it down and say, what is my responsibility and my duty in this moment, to whom, and how does it relate to me, and how does that make me relate to the world around me? So those are some kind of tricks that we can see, or tricks. Those are some kind of tools and ways to break it down, make it easier for us to understand what is the appropriate action for us to take. And then when we have that set as best as we can, then we need to act. And I'm sure that whatever you do, people will criticize you. People will find it, think it's great. People will think it's the worst thing to happen. But if you think it's the right thing to do, if you've really settled, thought about it as much as you could with the time allocated for you to think about it, then you've got to do it. People, again, as Marcus already says, people have their own minds. People have their own views, right? Maybe some people are more driven by their individual desires to look at a situation from a completely different angle. While you, having observed as much as you could, know that it's fitting for your nature, right? The role that you're taking on, the way that you're positioned in society, and universal nature. Looking at it from reason and logic, but also to see what is best for society, what is best for community, and what is best for the logos, for the bigger picture. And once you've accumulated that, then you need to go and do it because they follow the same path, right? And I like that one that he says here in the classics translation, where these two have one and the same path, right? And he says here in the Gregory Hayes translation, along the road they share, right? Your nature and universal nature, if they are properly aligned, if your nature is aligned with you, and if you're living in accordance with it, it is aligned with universal nature. And then you're living that same path and are able to experience that eudaimonic lifestyle that the Stoics are after, that state of good character soul, experience peace and calm, and really get to enjoy the best of life. That doesn't mean that it's comfortable, right? That doesn't mean that it's always aligned with what you want as an individual. Sometimes, again, that's where courage comes in. Sometimes you have to make those difficult decisions. And those difficult decisions usually do not align with what we personally would like as the outcome of an action. But having the greater good in mind, that's what really matters. So again, I like that. I'll read the first sentence, the first part of this translation because of this quote, because I really, really like it. And then we will close it off. But if an action or utterance isn't appropriate, then it's appropriate for you. Don't be put off by other people's comments and criticism. If it's right to say or do, then it's the right thing for you to say, then it's the right thing for you to do or say. So again, if you've really looked at what you've got to do, you've got to do it. You've got to take the courage to do it. And people will criticize you. People will have their opinions, but you can listen to them. Try to get the best out of it, learn from it what you can, but don't let it affect you. Don't let that criticism become a personal statement of your value, of who you are, but use it to learn, use it to see if they were right or wrong, because that's how we grow, right? We take in information, we take actions, we look at the outcomes, we learn, we grow, we evolve, and that's all that we need to do. That's what we need to focus on. If you then add compassion to it and kindness to ourselves, and we can say, okay, I've made the best call with all the information that I had. The outcome was something that wasn't really beneficial for the whole, then I need to, next time, I'll probably make a different decision. If you are, find it difficult to make decisions, to see, how to navigate life, or to use that courage when you know that something is right, book a consultation, a free consultation with us on viastoica.com. We will talk about how we can then set up a plan, how we can put it into practice to make sure that next time you will apply that courage and you will make the appropriate action. Thank you very much, and we hope to see you in the next one.